I mean, yeah, am I excited about this news? I don't really know. I was actually sitting here contemplating whether or not I should make this video, and if I'm being completely honest, I actually got more and more pissed when I was actually watching an Abala Danger video, and it was the notification that came up and completely blue-balled me and said that AFL26 has just been leaked. Now, yeah, I sat there and I contemplated, should I continue on with what I was doing, or should I jump on here and put on some clothes and chuck on the camera and talk to you about the fact that AFL 26 has just been leaked? And yeah, this is not a drill. This is the real thing. I mean, on the Australian government classification rating board, whatever you want to call it, AFL 26 recently did just open and has a mature rating, which, I mean, I don't know, were the other AFL games mature? I swear they were like G or PG. So I don't know, that must mean maybe there's some fights in this. Maybe we get an AFL 26 version of the line in the sand fight, or basically Braden Maynard just elbowing blokes in the head. I don't really know. Maybe that's what they're truly adding to this game. But end of the day, right, AFL 26 was just leaked, and I have never had any affiliation, as you guys know, with, you know, any AFL gaming company, any team who makes the AFL games at all, especially Big Ant, who make AFL 23. They have never ever contacted me to play a game or go to any of their events. So this is coming from a complete unbiased opinion, but I guess, you know, if anyone from Big Ant did watch this video and you wanted to contact me, I mean, shit, my Instagram's in the description if you guys wanted to give me a little text. But as you guys know, who have been watching the channel, I was very, very critical of AFL 23. In fact, I went as far as saying that AFL 23 was the worst video game launch that I had ever seen. Now, was I overreacting here? No, I wasn't overreacting at all. In fact, I probably should have been way more mean, and I mean, Big Ant should have, quite frankly, been ashamed of themselves for how the game was released, and they would have been ashamed of themselves, because for those of you who don't remember, AFL 23 was not only released as a $90 to $100 game, depending on where you bought it, but it was released as a game that was completely broken for like the first day or two of its launch, top to bottom, with glitches such as, again, you'd turn on the game and you just hop in a single player game, and the players on the opposing team wouldn't even try and tackle you, or would just stand there scratching their balls, or I don't know, touching themselves inappropriately on the field and not trying to tackle you. They'd get the ball, they wouldn't kick it, they'd just stand there. They were completely broken. Again, that was the big thing. So the gameplay was literally broken. But then you had other players who were playing, and benches or other parts of the field were just completely spawning in random spots. Like, as we know, an AFL bench is supposed to be on the side of the game, but it was spawning in the middle of the ground. Again, not only was that, but you had umpires like spawning on top of each other. Coaches were looking hella clapped and munted. I think the graphics and the visuals at the very start were even looking a little bit weird. There was just all of those things, right, that luckily Big Ant did fix in the first couple of days. But I think the biggest and worst part of the launch, which was very, very suspicious, and I mean, I don't know if they ever gotten any legal issues with this, was the main game component of the game that they advertised was not even in the game. And for those of you who don't know what I mean, AFL 23 basically, in, I think it was their second ever trailer, or one of the trailers of some sort, actually had half of the trailer dedicated to its new game mode called AFL 23 Pro Team, which basically promised that Pro Team was going to be the equivalent to FIFA's Ultimate Team or NBA 2K's My Team, where you could collect cards of players and go and play against, of course, your best mates with these teams. Again, not only was it in the trailer, but I believe in interviews and whatnot, it was described that this game feature would be like 50% of what was to be played in the whole entire game. But when the game came out, it was just nowhere to be found. Again, what was advertised in the trailer, 50% of the game was just nowhere to be found. Again, I've said it before, but it's like, imagine ordering a Zinger box, right? And you pay 16 bucks for a Zinger box, and when you open it up, you've just got the chips and the gravy there. You don't have your Zinger burger, you don't have your 3 Wicked Wings, and you don't have the drink. Again, that was essentially what AFL23 was. Now look, if you got that at KFC, what would you be able to do? Well, you'd be able to not only get a refund, but you would probably be entitled to like some type of compensation. Like sometimes if the KFC checkout chick is feeling nice, she might slip you in a freaking coleslaw or a popcorn chicken or some shit. I don't even know, right? But essentially, not only did Big Ant never give us the AFL23 Pro Team, but we had to wait like a year to a year and a half for it to officially come to the game. And when it finally came to the game, it was completely buggy, glitched, and slow, and you couldn't play it for like the first couple of days until they fixed it. Again, now I don't know if any legal action ever came from this. Again, I remember when Fallout 76 was released in Australia, and that game was completely glitched and had a couple different missing things. It was buggy and it was considered like almost unplayable. Again, I believe that game was like sued of some sort or had some legal issues, because in Australia, it's actually illegal to, again, release a faulty or incomplete product. Again, AFL 23 was much worse than Fallout 76. In fact, it was 10 times worse. So I don't know if whatever happened to the game, if there was any outcome, but the realistic thing is that AFL 23 was a massive disaster, right? It is one of the biggest disasters in gaming. I mean, they fixed it now, and apparently the game's pretty good, and there's a lot of great things about it. And there'll be one of you guys who comments saying, yeah, but the game is good. The game is good. End of the day, we shouldn't have had to wait 2 years for the game to be good. And by the time I think I sold it after like a year, the game was not good. It didn't even have Pro Team. Yeah, it's like, no. Yeah, I shouldn't have to wait 2 years for a game to be good. So, again, should I be optimistic about AFL 23? Should you be optimistic, or about AFL 26, I should say? And look, the answer is no and yes. If you want to put faith into the company that they fixed all their mistakes, go ahead. Again, it was a disaster, but at the end of the day, it's been 3 years since they made the last one when AFL 26 comes out, and they have a foundation now. They have the Pro Team, they have their own engine with it, they have all their graphics and all the players and all the face scans already, right? If you really do think about it, AFL 26 should be good, and it should be kind of impossible to mess up, considering now they've semi-perfected what they originally wanted AFL 23 to be like. Again, the foundation should be all there. You should have Pro Team, you should have, of course, your single player and all that good stuff there. And this will be if anyone who buys AFL 26, I think at least more than half the players, probably like 75% of the players, it'll be their first time ever playing Pro Team. So it'll actually be their first experience seeing what Pro Team is really like. So the fact is, you already have that going for you if you're Big Ant. The other thing you have going for you is the fact that you've got all that foundation set in place, and you don't have to spend so much time on the graphical and the engine side of things. And now you can finally do the smaller things. Like, I think they should go big with a career mode. I think we've never really had a proper career mode in any AFL game. Again, we've had the create your player and you go around and play games and all that stuff. But I'm talking about an actual career mode that has an actual story towards the draft. Again, I think they're completing their rugby game, or have already completed it, which means they've got about a whole entire year or so to add a career mode onto what they've already got going on with AFL 23. And that should be enough time to get it done. I would love for them to do an equivalent to My League or My NBA and, again, actually flesh out the management mode of AFL 23. And in AFL 26, have it be an actual thing that's like what Madden's is or like what 2K's is. Again, they have to have one of them, or they have to have the career mode, or there's really no point of buying this game at all. So the only thing is, though, is if they do it this time, you have to make sure that there's nothing wrong with the game on launch and that there's, that My Career is actually there on day one. Because if you just release the game and you do the same thing as the last game and we have to wait over a year to get the thing that you're probably going to advertise in the trailer, don't release it. Don't bother releasing it, because if you have the same thing that happened last time, I guarantee you the criticism and hate on the internet will not only be double, but it'll be triple of what happened with the last game. So yeah, I don't think you should get your hypes up, but I think there should be somewhat of optimism that this game could have something going for it and could be slightly cool or just have something good. Again, technically, as I said, for about 75% of the players who are going to play this, you're going to have that pro team that most people haven't touched. You're going to have a game there that most people haven't really experienced. Again, I actually knew a guy who bought AFL 23 and he returned it after the first 2 days. In fact, I think I knew 2 guys who did that. I think JB or EB, they don't usually let you return games if they've been opened. But I think with AFL 23, if I remember right, I think they were like doing it as an exception because of how bad and cooked the game was. I'm pretty sure my friend or two were able to get a return. And again, we just can't be having that happen again, man. You just legitimately cannot be having that happen again. So yeah, we'll see. We will see. AFL 26 is coming. Again, I don't want this video to be taken as I hate Big Ant. Like, look, I'm pissed at Big Ant for what they did. But if Big Ant, like, if they ever wanted to invite me to come try out their game or wanted me to have anything to do with their game at all, I would happily do it. And I'm going to give my honest opinion online like I'm doing right now. I'm not going to suck off the game, especially if it's bad. But if the game is good and Pro Team is working and everything's looking fine, I will legitimately be like, yeah, go get this game. So I feel like, yeah, if anyone from Big Ant's watching, that's a challenge for you. If you think your game's like up to freaking level, shit, I'll come and play it, bro. I'll play it next year. I'll hop on the train, the bus. I'll catch a $50 Uber just to play your game and talk about it on the internet to you lovely people who are watching today. So again, I'm very interested to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this all down below. Are you guys excited for AFL 26, or do you guys not really care? Again, I would very much like to know. Subscribe to my gaming channel, which will be getting linked in the description down below. Subscribe to this channel as well, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Goodbye.